Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Enjoy English School. I'm Bruce.
I'm Antony.
Today, Antony and I have our first lesson for this month of December. We have a total of 5 lessons. I can't wait, especially for today's lesson, because I feel very strongly about the topic. The title is Remember to Look Up.
没错，今天这个主题呢，老师说他有非常非常重要的想法跟意见关于这个主题。这个主题叫做 Remember to Look Up， 别忘了抬头。原来呀，这一天的这个主题呢是跟低头族有关系。我们刚刚在开始录制之前呢，老师要跟我讲到说，有一个女生呢低着头这样子，差点要撞到她。好，在走那个手扶梯的时候，我们赶快来看看今天这个主题吧。
Remember to look up. Mark was playing a game on his phone while waiting to catch the bus to school. Even as he boarded the bus, his eyes remained glued to the glowing screen of his phone. Once Mark settled down in a seat, he gave the game his full attention. Although directing his character to collect floating coins was an easy task, Mark still found it calming and satisfying.However, he was so caught up in the game that he failed to notice the bus passing by his school. Eventually, Mark looked up from his phone and realized that the bus was now several stops away from his school. He quickly got off the bus and broke into a mad dash so that he wouldn't be late. If only he had remembered to look up from his phone
sooner.Remember to look up is our first lesson, and it's the composition for this month. As you know, if you've been with us before, we have 3 pictures, and that helps you to understand the storyline which you will write about. Now, the first picture, if you want to look here, looks to me like a boy on the left is looking at his smartphone.And there is a student in front of him. It looks like they are boarding a bus, possibly a school bus. In the second picture, we see the boy still looking at his smartphone. Now, he appears to be on the bus now, inside the bus. And there's a sign outside. And I know this much Chinese. It says 高中 so, that's high school.And then in the third, well, I wonder what's going on. We'll have to think of something interesting. The boy is off the bus now. He doesn't look very happy, and he seems to be in a hurry, and he's not using his smartphone at this time. So we have to imagine whatever you want to imagine that makes sense, that is logical, and create a story using the 3 pictures.
没错，所以我们先审视一下我们手上的3张图片哦。在做看图写作的时候，最重要的事情就是 to form a storyline。老师刚刚有提到说，想办法去找出这个故事它的发展。OK， 所以在第一张图，老师刚刚有提到说，好像有一个这个学生，上面就是他的书包上写的叉叉高中嘛，然后他前面有另外一个可能也是学生或是乘客等等，他们上了这个公车之后。第2张图他就在公车上还是看着手机，到了第3张图之后发现到不太对劲，就他下来之后急急忙忙的跑，而且看起来不太开心，所以我们可以推测出来他可能是坐过站了，因为看手机玩手机太专注，到后来最后就坐过站了，大概是这样子的一个故事。
So you can choose names and you can choose how you want the story to move along from picture 1 through 2 up to 3.Someone wrote this. Mark was playing a game on his phone while waiting to catch the bus to school. So we give the main character a name, any name you want. Looks like a boy, and Mark is a boy's name. He's playing a game on his smartphone. And he's waiting to catch the bus.It looks as though the bus has arrived. He's waiting to board the bus. B-O-A-R-D, used as a verb, means to go onto a bus a plane, a ship.
没错，所以这个字老师刚刚特别提到 board， 很多时候你去坐飞机也好，你们有 boarding gate， 然后呢，你这个 boarding pass 就是登机证啦，或是登机门等等。board 这个字本来就是上车、上船、上飞机啊这些地方都可以使用的一个动词 board。好，这个字要特别注意。所以我们看到这个故事的一开头 ，Mark was playing a game on his phone。好，不要忘记他在这个手机上面玩游戏。这个地方我们会用 on 来搭配这个 his phone。While waiting to catch the bus to school， 因为在等公车的时候可能无聊嘛，会玩玩手机也正常了。这个地方因为是讲故事，所以我们最常使用的呢，多半都会跟过去的时态有关，不管是过去的一般的时态，或者是过去的进行式等等。那你在使用的时候，在这边就用到了 was playing a game。他呢在等公车的时候一边玩着手机。
Even as he boarded the bus, here we see the verb, his eyes remained glued to the glowing screen of his phone. So the bus pulls up, but Mark doesn't react. He is more interested in the phone than in the bus. Now, if your eyes are glued, of course that doesn't happen. It just means you cannot look at anything else, or you stare, S-T-A-R-E. S-T-A-R-E. He's staring at his screen. And the screen has quite a bit of light, and so we can call that glowing. Glowing is not quite as strong as shining, but it is giving off light.
Yeah， 没错。所以在这边的话，发光有很多种。如果是那种闪的让你眼睛看不到得闭起来那种 shining 的话，那就用 shining 没有错。但这边 glowing 就是微微的发光。所以说今天在这句里头，他说 even as he boarded the bus， 甚至在他在上车的时候，他的眼睛呢 his eyes remain glued to the glowing screen of his phone。 这边要特别注意一件事情， glue 这个字我们先看到 G-L-U-E， glue 这个字本身就是胶水的意思。那如果说今天 somebody have his or her eyes glued， 感觉上他的眼睛好像是粘在真的就粘在那个上面。当然老师说不可能是粘着的嘛，所以老师刚刚就介绍了 stare 这个字。 You can stare at something， 就是指盯着看。在这里 his eyes remain glued to something， 就是他眼睛直盯着不放的意思。这是第一个。第二部分 glue 这个字的话后面可以接 to， glue 要加 d 的话就变形容词嘛，它搭配的介系词是 to something。What is that thing? The glowing screen of his phone. 它微微闪着光的这个手机。
Okay, that's enough to get us started. We've described the first picture, really. Let's take a short break, and then we'll deal with the second picture. Okay, let's get ready now. Take a look at that second picture. Now, he may be standing or he may be sitting. We can't tell. But from the look of where the window is, I would think he is sitting down. And we start with, once Mark settled down in a seat. And that's a long way to say, after he sat down, he gave the game his full attention. If your full attention is on something, here we have the stare, or his eyes are glued on the screen. That's your full attention. You're paying full attention to something.
没错。所以在这边的话，老师先跟我们讲了说，我们也在这个地方看不太出来说是站还是坐，但是从窗户跟它的位置的话，感觉上它是坐下来的。所以你看到第二段的第一句话就说 Once Mark settled down in a seat， 好，在这个位置坐定了之后，当然你也可以简单的讲 Once Mark sat down， 好，也是可以的。所以在这边的话不用担心，你可以学一个新的说法 settle down， 好，用过去式 settled down 来表达坐定坐稳了之后 once 是一旦他坐下来坐稳了之后呢He gave the game his full attention， 意思就是他就开始专心的玩游戏了。可能你一边上车一边要投钱啊，做什么时候还会有一点分心嘛。现在坐定了之后就可以专心玩了，是大概这个意思。刚刚在前面他提到，我们不是提到说 have someone's eyes glued to something， 对不对？所以在这边的话，我们就不要用重复的方式去表达这个概念，我们就可以学一个新的什么人 gave the game his full attention， 用这种方式去换字来表达，还是很认真的在玩游戏。
Maybe you see a movie or watch a television program that has a teacher and there's a class of primary or secondary students, and maybe it's the break time is over, and the teacher will say, okay, settle down. And it doesn't necessarily mean sit down. Most of the students are probably already sitting down, but it means to start paying attention to what you're supposed to be doing. In the case of Mark, he thinks what he's supposed to be doing is playing with his smartphone.
没错，老师刚刚提到说，很多时候在那种美国的那种学堂啊，国小国中啊，差不多了，同学们可以安静下来了，该做什么事就做什么事情，对不对？好，在这里你会听到老师会讲 settle down， 好，不见得一定是要大家坐下来，但是就要安静下来，开始专心了。老师刚刚还特别提到一个 pay attention to， 要习惯 attention to，pay attention to 的这个 to 跟 attention 它的搭配，这要特别注意哦。
All right, next sentence.Although directing his character to collect floating coins was an easy task, I'll stop here. On his cell phone screen, the game he is playing, apparently the character, usually a hero, what does he do? He collects floating, not flying, but suspended, we would say. They're in the air. Maybe they're moving up and down, but they're probably not moving all around. The person who plays this game has to make the character pick the floating coins from the air, and apparently that's easy for Mark to do. He probably plays this game every day. Mark still found it calming and satisfying. So there was really nothing special about this game. He had played it before. He found it easy to do. But notice it was calming and satisfying. When we do something we are used to, when we do something that we like to do, it helps us to calm down.
没错，所以在这个地方他就告诉你说，他玩游戏是不是很难的游戏呢？他就告诉你很多细节咯。一样在写作的时候特别注意一下细节的描述。你看这句话就讲说 ，although directing his character， 老师刚刚提到了 character 就是他使用的这个主角，他呢在玩游戏里边，游戏总是有个主角，老师刚刚也用到另外一个字。Hero， 对不对？好，他呢就引导他的这个主角呢 ，to collect floating coins was an easy task。你要看到 was an easy task， 你就知道说前面的这些东西全部都是一个重要的主词，所以说他会用 directing ing 变成那个主词 ，his character to collect。floating coin 就很像是玩马里欧的时候吃金币，对不对？一路走，一路吃金币，它其实是有一种快乐的感觉的哈。虽然很简单 ，was an easy task。Mark still found it calming and satisfying. 为什么这么简单游戏还要玩呢？因为在玩的过程当中 Mark still found something 怎么样？Found something 后面可以接一个形容词来说明做这件事本身。好，怎么样 ？Calming 好，让他能够放松 and satisfying 很有满足感。
However, but he was so caught up in the game.If you're caught up in something, you are focused on, you are paying all your attention to what you are doing. That can be good, but here, he's so caught up in the game that he failed to notice. He wasn't paying attention to where the bus was. He was just paying attention to the game. He did not notice the bus passing by his school. Here we could say he missed his stop.The stop would be the school stop, but he missed it because he was just paying attention to the game.
没错，所以英文说坐过站了，你就可以说 somebody missed his or her stop， 就是他把他错过了他的站，这一站他应该是要在他的高中下车的，就没想到他太专注了，所以你今天要讲这样的场景的时候，你可以这样说 However, he was so caught up in the game. 所以你在这边我们又看到了第三种表达这个专注到什么程度 You were caught up in the game. I was caught up in the game. 意思就是我被完全的就是被这个游戏给抓住了所有的注意力这种感觉，然后 so 后面搭配这个 that， 说 so caught up in the game that he failed to notice the bus passing by his school， 连这个车子呢已经过了他要下的这个站，他都没有注意到，是到这么严重的程度。所以这句话的这个句子比较长，结构比较复杂，你可以帮我把这个 so 跟 that 先把它圈起来之后，前一句跟后一句多念几遍，慢慢久了之后就有语感了。
Okay, that's quite a bit, so let's take a short break before we come back and finish the story. Okay, welcome back, and now let's finish our third and final picture and the story. Eventually, Mark looked up from his phone and realized that the bus was now several stops away from his school. Here, eventually means at last or finally. Mark looked up from his phone. He did not stare at his phone. He was no longer paying all his attention to his phone. We don't know why, but he just happened to look up and, oh no, he realized, he became aware that the bus was now several stops away from his school. And if each stop is maybe 50 to 100 meters apart on average, then he's got quite a bit of distance to catch up on.
没错，所以刚刚还有提到一个很重要的字词 ，he just happened to look up。所以这个 happen to 的意思呢，就是刚巧他抬起头来。所以在这边的话，我们先看一下这句话，他说 eventually， 好，最后呢怎么样？他过站了嘛，但是最后他就一直坐到底站吗？不是，对不对 ？Eventually， 最后 Mark looked up from his phone， 突然之间他就是抬起头来看看到哪里了，就才惊觉到and realized that the bus was now several stops away from his school. 老师刚刚讲说，一站如果说差不多100到150公尺的话，你只要随便错过个5站，那就快要1公里的感觉了嘛，对不对？好，所以在这边的话，整句话意思就是说，最后呢 ，Mark 他抬起头来看看，好，就是从他的眼睛的视线，从他的手机抬起头来，你可以说 look up from his phone。好，这个 from 的话可以知道一下。And realized that the bus was now several stops away from his school， 才发现到说，哇，原来现在公车的这个位置已经离他要下车的地方好几站的距离了。
He quickly got off the bus. Antony just said 下车, and here we say get off a bus, but get out of a taxi or car. Get off the bus, get out of a taxi or car. Different.And broke into a mad dash. Here the break means there's a change in his behavior. In this case, instead of just sitting or standing, boom, he starts to run. Of course, he doesn't want to be late for school. If the teacher asks him, why are you late? Oh, 不好意思. It's because of his smartphone. Now, a dash is a very fast and short period of running.In the Olympics, 100 meters or 200, 400 meters. These are dashes because you can run as fast as you can, but not for many, many kilometers. So that's breaking into a mad dash. Why? So that he wouldn't be late for school.
没错，所以这个地方你如果用到这个词叫做 break into a mad dash， 更像这种拔腿狂奔的感觉。天哪，快迟到了，我还要跑1公里跑回这个学校，对不对？很搞笑，这样的话才不会迟到嘛。所以在这个地方他说 he quickly got off the bus。 老师刚刚提到说，如果说今天下车的话，如果是指公车，我们会说上车是 get on the bus，那下车是 get off the bus。但如果说今天你是坐计程车的话 ，we say get in the car, get out of the car。 好，所以这里的话在使用上面，一个是进去之后你会坐下来的，另外一个如果说是任何上那种交通工具是可以在上面走有平台的，我们多半都用 on 来表达，这是第一个。那 broke into a mad dash， 老师刚刚已经解释过了 ，so that he wouldn't be late， 只有拔腿狂奔才不会迟到。
If only he had remembered to look up from his phone sooner. This is part of the last picture. Apparently he's running. He doesn't look too happy. He's not in pain, but maybe he's embarrassed and worried. So if only means we want to change the situation, or we try to imagine if things were different, if only he had remembered to look up from his phone before he missed several bus stops.
没错，所以在这边 if only 的话，意思就是在讲一个与事实相反的情况。所以我第一个想到 if only， 我会想到那个 The Wizard of Oz。 If I only had a heart.
Yes.
Yeah. 所以
Yes.
如果是提到 if only 的时候，就是要是怎样就好了这样的一个感觉。所以如果你今天提到的是之前的状况、过去的情况，我们会使用与过去事实相反的假设。这时候你会用到过去完成式。这个地方你看到 if only he had remembered， 要是他当初呢有记得 to look up from his phone sooner， 早一点抬起头来看看该下车的这个地方，要是能这样就好了。所以 if only 的话，帮我圈起来，上面写到事实相反假设。那针对过去的事实，我们就使用过去完成式。
Okay, now remember, you don't have to memorize what someone else wrote. You have your own idea of the story. The pictures will help you to form your ideas and then your sentences. You can name, you don't need Mark, it could be Antony or Bruce, great names. And you could talk more about his settling down or why it was calming. You make up the content, but you do have to follow roughly, generally, what the pictures tell you. That is what the composition is for.
没有错，所以说今天事实上你不见得一定要按照这样的方式写，你可以自己增添你有兴趣的情节或细节，对不对？但主要还是按照这个故事的发展跟走向，这个主轴还是要跟得紧一点，这样就没有问题了。
Okay, we're going to take a very short break, and then we'll come back and review some important words for you. Okay, in the first picture, the first paragraph, we have boarded. Remember, you board an airplane, a train, a ship. You get into a taxi or car.
board 就是上车、上船、上飞机的意思。
Glued to, if you're talking about someone's attention, means they cannot pay attention to anything else. Glued to the TV.
就是盯着看，死盯着不放的意思。
Glowing is giving off light, not a lot, a comfortable amount of light.
微微的发光。
Settle down means to compose yourself. You stop talking and running around and you sit down and you start to pay attention.
没错，这边就是慢慢的静下来 compose yourself。这个地方 compose 是 C-O-M-P-O-S-E 这样的拼法。
Direct, if you direct something, you control something.
direct 就是引导、控制的意思。
Floating means it's not on the ground, it's not flying around either. Clouds float in the sky.
就是漂浮在空中的感觉，没有它乱跑乱飞的那种感觉哦。
Realize is to understand.
realize 是突然间，发现到一件事实。
And we already mentioned our last item, to get off the bus, but get out of the car or taxi.
最后一个呢，就是下公车的话，我们用 get off。那如果说今天是下这个计程车的话，we say get out of the car, get out of the taxi.
Okay, that's it for our composition lesson. We still have a few more this month, we too, for you. And we look forward to it. Hope you do too. Till the next time,
bye-bye.